What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to GNR Frank. My name is Francisco, and today we're going to be talking about the Elgato Wave 3 USB condenser microphone. Let's go. For a long time now, I've been wanting to pick up the Elgato Wave 3 microphone, and I've been kind of up in the air deciding between Wave 1 or Wave 3. So I went ahead and got the microphone from Best Buy. It was on sale, I believe it's like $139, something like that. Usually it typically retails for around the $159 range. I'll include the prices down here just to make sure it's accurate. But I went ahead and picked it up, and I've had some time to spend with the microphone. And not only are we going to talk about this microphone, but we're going to take the Wave 3 and compare it to my Shure MV7 dynamic microphone. So this is a USB condenser microphone, and this is a dynamic XLR and or USB microphone as well. And yes, we're gonna review this, but I also kind of been wondering which one I feel I like more in terms of sound for my needs. And we're gonna go ahead and take some time to compare the two. So without further ado, let's just get right into it too. Since the Wave 3 is a USB microphone, I will be using the Shure MV7 via USB as well. Inside of the box, there's really not a whole lot going on, so we're just gonna go ahead and open it up for you real quick. As is with most electronics these days, you're gonna get some paperwork right here, quick start guide and some random shenanigans, so we'll just put that off to the side. You have a little box with the USB cable. Now, of course, I've already got everything set up so the cable's hooked up and everything to my boom arm, so I'm not gonna be able to show you the cable, but I don't think you really need to see that. And inside you would have found the microphone itself right here, right? But you also have a actually pretty heavy and pretty sturdy desktop stand for it. Now, along with that stand, there is also this little guy right here, and this is a boom arm converter, if you will. So basically you would screw this in to your Wave 3 right here at the bottom, and it would enable you to attach the microphone to a boom arm of your choice. So we take a look at the microphone itself. The microphone is incredibly lightweight. It barely has any weight to it at all. And it does have, unfortunately, an all plastic build, with the exception of, well, actually, it feels like this mount is also plastic. So it seems like the whole thing is just built on plastic. We have one button right here at the front, which is a dial, which is how you're gonna adjust your microphone's gain, your output volume, and your balance between your chat audio and your wavelength audio. And then you can also press it to switch between the settings. So it does have a capacitive touch mute button at the top, so you just tap it, it mutes it, you tap it again, and it unmutes the microphone right there. As far as build quality is concerned, this microphone is a very sleek looking mic. I do love how it looks. It has a very classy look to it. It does have a bit of a cheap feel to it. Considering the price point, I'm a little disappointed with that, but other than that, it does look pretty classy. And just right here in the back, it is a USB-C connector to the microphone to power it and connect it to your PC. And you have a headphone out right here. I'd say, I feel like if you gave this a good drop, you'd probably crack it. If not, just break it all together. But if you're careful with your belongings and your equipment, I don't think you're gonna have much trouble with that. As far as the aesthetics go, I don't think anybody's gonna have any issue with how this looks on stream or in your YouTube videos. So let's get everything set up, and let's go ahead and start talking about sound. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so this is what the Elgato Wave 3 microphone sounds like right now. I should have the gain set about roughly 50%. I'm sitting at about, I'd say 6 to 7 inches away from the mic. This is exactly what the mic sounds like. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut up for a moment so we can see how much ambient noise this microphone captures, because keep in mind, it is a condenser microphone, so condenser microphones are going to be picking up a lot more noise than, say, a dynamic microphone would. I'm not doing any post-processing whatsoever. There's no added compression, no noise reduction, nothing at all. The only thing I'm probably going to post-process is my lav mic, and that's about it. The Wave 3 microphone has a cardioid polar pattern, which means is that it's going to capture the sound caught directly in front of the microphone. So there is no talking off to the side, because it's not going to make that big of a difference. There's definitely no talking about it back here, because you're not going to get as much pickup there. It is intended to be spoken to directly in front of the microphone. As far as sound quality goes for this one, I gotta say I am very impressed with how clear and great my vocals do come in, my sound and my commentary does. One thing I did notice in several recordings that I did do is that my voice is a typically low voice, and I think that this microphone did have a little bit of trouble picking up on the lows on my vocal cords, if you will. And one thing that I do like about microphones, I like a microphone that can really pick up the low parts of my voice. I think it adds a lot of richness and depth to my commentary. This microphone, I feel, struggles in that department a little bit. But if anything, and if I had to really, I guess, designate what this quality is like, it's that it's crystal clear and it's very balanced. I don't think, although it doesn't get the lows that I want it to, it does get some, and it doesn't get too many of the highs either. I think it's a very nice, balanced, neutral sound that I get out of this microphone as well. Overall, I think that the microphone sounds pretty darn good. I like it a lot, actually, as a matter of fact, but I'm not convinced yet, and this is where I'm going to need your help. I'm going to go ahead and set up the Shure MV7, and we're going to do some tests comparing both of them to one another. All right, so now I have the Shure MV7 set up via USB, and I've got the Wave 3 right here also set up. Right now, I'm currently speaking into the Wave 3, and this is what it sounds like. A couple of things that I want to note as well is that when you use a microphone that has a mute button, usually you will hear the an audible like click when a user clicks that mute button in the middle of recording, right? So the really cool thing about a capacitive touch mute button is that you simply tap the top and there is no audible noise at all. So for example, I'm going to press the button right. And all I do is simply tap it again. And once again, you should not have heard any sort of audible cue that I have muted the microphone because of its capacitive touch nature. It does happen on the Wave 3 when you're switching from what output or what source you want to manage the volume for. So for instance, right now, I have it set to where the dial changes the microphone's gain, but we're going to switch it to my output volume for it. For instance, if I had a headset hooked up to it. So I'm going to click it right now. And you might have been able to hear it. So let's try it again. I'm gonna click it one more time, and it's gonna switch it over to the balance. And now we're gonna switch back to gain, and we're back to gain. Let's switch over to the MV7 and see what y'all think about that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the Shure MV7 hooked up via USB, and I've got it set at about the same distance from the Elgato Wave 3. Now, do bear in mind that this is a dynamic microphone, which means that now, as opposed to a condenser microphone, which can capture a whole lot of sound from the direction that it captures sound from, this microphone right here does a much better job at noise rejection. So I could have my little girl in the living room running around playing with her toys, screaming in joy and happiness. And if I was using the Elgato Wave 3, that microphone would pick up some of that noise. With a dynamic microphone, it won't pick up any of that noise because it's only going to pick up the noise or the sounds coming from directly in front of the microphone, nothing from the sides or from behind. Now, obviously, it'll pick up some sound from the sound. So if I start talking over here off to the side, it's going to pick up some of that sound, right? But it's not as prevalent as it would be with a condenser microphone. This microphone has a pretty nice little pop filter added with it. So for example, we're going to take this off real quick. See, this is the MV7's grill right here. This is what the microphone would look like if it didn't have the windscreen included. So thankfully, the people at Shure went ahead and added that in with the package as well. The Wave 3 has internal pop filters built into it, but let's see how good they really do against plosives. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Shure first. Peter, pickle, piper, penny, pizza, passive, person. Now let's try out the plosives with the Elgato Wave 3. Peter, piper, pickle, person, prize. Any word that starts with P and B and V. Pronto. Shout out to Bandrew, aka Podcastage. So after listening to that, I gotta tell you that surprisingly enough, the Wave 3 did a much better job of handling plosives as opposed to the Shure MV7. One other thing that we're gonna do, and it's the last test we're gonna do, is just the proximity effect. So how does a microphone sound the closer that you get to it? Because the closer you get to your microphone, the more it should be able to pick up the depth and richness of one's voice. And one thing I want everyone to bear in mind, what this microphone or this microphone sounds like for me is not necessarily what it's going to sound like for you. So let me go ahead and switch over to the Wave 3 so you can get the proximity effect with that as well. Okay, and now the proximity effect test with the Elgato Wave 3 microphone. So now as I get closer to the microphone, I really have to be a little bit more careful about how loudly I speak, because this being a condenser microphone and the gain still being only about 50%, I have a feeling that it's going to be catching a lot of sound. And I'm looking at Audacity here, and it is exactly the case. But You be the judge. What sounds better to you? This microphone right here being this close to me, or the MV7. Now granted, I doubt that most of you will be using a condenser microphone this close to your mouth. You probably shouldn't even be doing that, to be honest, but I just want to give you a good example of what it sounds like with the proximity effect in consideration. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually a liar that this is the last test. There's something I almost forgot to include this, and this is noise pickup from the microphones, for both microphones. Specifically for those of us who like to game on PCs and we have mechanical keyboards, you might want to know how much of your keyboard is going to get picked up by either microphone. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Elgato Wave 3. And I am using a Logitech G513 with the blue mechanical switches. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. This is me just typing away random gibberish on a Google Docs document. And now, the Shure MV7. This is me just typing away at some gibberish on a Google Docs document using the Shure MV7 dynamic microphone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. So in terms of noise pickup, no surprise, the Elgato Wave 3, a USB condenser microphone, ended up picking up a whole lot more of the keyboard sounds than the dynamic Shure MV7 did. That just goes to show that condenser microphones had a tendency to pick up a whole lot more noise, especially if you're using them in an untreated room. The dynamic microphone, the Shure MV7, did a much better job of rejecting all that noise and keeping the commentary cleaner as opposed to the Wave 3. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up for today. I gotta tell you this. For the price of the Wave 3, I think you get a phenomenal microphone. I would definitely recommend this to any content creator out there. Anybody looking to do Twitch streams with this microphone, YouTube videos, even podcasting. With podcasting, you can definitely use it raw, or I would highly recommend is get a good DAW and just get some good post-processing down. I think they both sound great, but for all intents and purposes, I'm gonna go ahead and say that for me, in my opinion, whoa. Let me stop right there. This was the part of the video where I was about to announce the Shure MV7 as the winner between the two microphones, but after giving it much thought and sitting here practically all night last night, just going back and forth between the different clips, between the MV7 and the Wave 3, I gotta say, I'm taking it back. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is the Elgato Wave 3. I love how this microphone makes my voice sound. I love how this sounds. I am accustomed to what a dynamic microphone does to my voice, but for some reason, playing them back and forth a whole bunch last night, I got to really hear a really good detail in the Wave 3, and I just love how it makes my voice sound. Not to mention that I can sit here at a comfortable distance from the microphone and feel like I'm still capturing some good audio, as opposed to the Shure MV7, which is dynamic. I do have to have it relatively closer to my mouth, and that can be a little annoying. So the Wave 3 is the winner. Enjoy the rest of the video. Have a great one. Peace out. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below what you think. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. Let me know if you own this microphone and what your thoughts on it are. Let me know if you own the MV7 and what your thoughts on it are. And until next time, be good to yourselves, be good to one another. Peace out.